Welcome to SD35 Career Ed's video to create a placement with an active employer on myWEX.ca. We'll start off by logging into myWEX.ca. So the assumption we're making now is that you have an employer who's been approved. How you'll check? Employers, view employers, and you will search the employer name. In the first video, we did show how to do this, so please check that if you need to review this. We'll search for the employer name, and 999 should be enough to find it, as we're looking for 999 books. And here we go. So here's the employer that we entered in an earlier video. And you can see that's exactly what we want. So we'll go into the employer details, and then we can go to placements. Now we've got the green circle that allows us to add a placement. Before we didn't have that, but now the employer has been approved. So if you saw the previous video and you submitted an employer, it does take several days for us to be able to access these and approve them. If you do need this to be expedited, please contact us directly at the school board office career department so that we can expedite this and get it set up as soon as possible. So please remember to have all of the requirements uploaded and attached to the employer so that we are able to do an approval and allow it to accept placements. So we'll add a placement. We'll add a placement. We'll go to the only schools that you'll see here are the ones that you are assigned to. Students, every student in your school you'll see listed here, and it's sorted by last name. So you will have to scroll through and find the student that way. All right, now we can see that we've got the employer information all set up. It's a work placement, it's the only one we can pick. And now we have to select the activity. So if there are multiple activities for the employer, you'd have to pick which one this student is going to be participating in. All right, so now we've got all the details from the activity that have been automatically pulled up here. And now we get to fill in the details for the placement details. So I will snap my fingers, and next time I see you, we'll have this filled in. Oh, that's a bad snap. All of our information is now inputted. For start date, you can start it today as soon as possible. The end date, we should set this, give the student lots of time to do this. So give them until the end of the current school year if you're signing up at the beginning of the year, or if you're starting up towards the end of the year, you could give them until the end of the next school year so that they have ample time to get this done. We wouldn't want that to be a reason why a student is not able to complete their work experience because of this paperwork, and it would require a new form to be sent out and signed by all of the parties involved, and the student wouldn't be able to complete the work experience during that time if the older version, which ended at an earlier date, is no longer in effect. We need to make sure that the student is covered by WorkSafe, and that's what this document provides us with. Placed by is who is actually doing the logistics and the legwork of placing the student and making the arrangements with the employer and the student. The hours is the total amount of hours that the student will will be at this employer for. So a good idea would be to set it to 100. Although the students don't need to complete this many hours to earn credit, as you'll see in the board policy, it is good to have a higher number so that the student would be covered if they did end up spending a few more hours there than the bare minimum. The teacher contact, this is going to be the main person that the employer would contact if there was a problem or a concern or everything was going fantastic and they just wanted to send kudos your way into the student. So you can select from the people here responsible at the schools, and the teacher email and cell phone number are automatically populated. You actually can't enter this in. This would be entered in your details on myWEX, so it's automatically in there. And the teacher monitor would be the person who's actually completing the monitoring, checking up with the student and employer as per board policy to ensure that the student and the employer are happy with the placement and to address any concerns that arise during it. So they would be reaching out by email or phone or visiting the workplace to complete these. The occupation code, this is generated automatically based on what we selected earlier for what type of occupation it is. The job duties, this came straight out of the activity. So if anything is changing, we can change it in the screen. This is all editable. But if it is staying the same and we're happy with these arrangements as they are, then you can leave them. And the work location, if it has changed, then we can put in a different address here if perhaps there were multiple work locations that the student would be regularly working out of. All right, so this looks pretty good. Now we can create the placement. Now that the placement has been created, it kind of doesn't look any different, but the placement has been created. Now you are able to print off the document. So you will see it will be a WAVE a work experience agreement that we will be completing. This will look a little different by the time you see this video. And here we go. Everything's been entered. The student information gets pulled from myBC. And this document will also look a little bit different, but it'll be clear once we update it. This information got pulled from what we've entered in and all of this as well. Signatures, we need to collect all of those before the student can begin the placement, and make sure to send copies to everybody here. There will be multiple pages to include and make sure they're all included and everybody has seen everything and signed everything. And a good idea would be to scan it and then email it to all of the people involved. Also, students do require the student training plan, and they need to complete the in-school and the on-site safety orientations before they can actually start observing work and participating as their supervisor would like them to assist on the work site. So yeah, that's how you create the work experience agreement, or the WAVE agreement as we'll soon call it. To learn how to create a placement with an active employer on myWEX. I should probably mention that what is an active employer? An active employer is one that allows placements. There are other statuses such as inactive and temporary inactive, and those would be for employers who we have chosen to no longer work with. Perhaps there were problems and with previous students we've had placed there. And temporary inactive would be something that we would assign to employers who have said, oh, we need 6 months, we're moving offices, or something like that. So only active employers in the status will be able to accept placements. Any questions, please contact us at ST35CareerEd and follow our social media. Thank you.